true.
I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Well, the government told me what date it was, so that must be accurate. Okay, we're going to call it January 26th. It's a Monday, 2026. Oh, it's the 26th day of the first month of the year 26. Cool stuff. All right, guys. Well, I am trying to be on the other side of healing. We're 4 weeks out now, so last Thursday was 4 weeks, and is that right? Is that 4 weeks? How many days and days have it been to be? Well, we got let's see, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, we're 3 weeks. Wait, that's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So yeah, this Thursday will be 4 weeks. Oh, we're only 3 weeks out. Gee, mini Christmas, boy. Somebody give this guy a cape because he's Superman. Anyway, good to see you guys. We got a couple of things going on around the world around us, and one of them is Tippon boy, Minnesota. Yeah, he got out there and said some things, and they have not really gotten a good, they haven't aged well. So, like, the idea that we have a lot of these people who are running around and talking about what they know and what they don't know and all the good stuff in between. Well, I always tell you guys, give it a day, give it a minute. Don't just go with the first response, like you heard the incident. So Sunday morning, was it Sunday morning or Saturday morning? Anyway, whenever it happened, the gentleman got killed. And so here's the thing. Guy gets killed, a bunch of officers all involved all of a sudden, blah, blah, blah. Now all the body cam footage has not been released, but yet we have all these different eyewitness from the phone, the cell phone connection, the different cell phone, blah, blah, blah. I watched a lot of that, and I've seen different things where it looks like he's got a gun in his hand. I've seen different things where it looks like they took the gun away from him. But the problem with it is that when in a training situation, if a officer calls gun, 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 then it changes the entire situation. The first moment, the first yell of a gun, the word gun went out, it changes every man that was involved in that takedown. It changes everything. But let me back up for a second. The gentleman, Mr. Petty or whatever his name is, he is an ICU nurse. He also has some questionable photos of himself out there on the Internet of Things, and that's not me making that up. And there's some things I've seen, and I'm like, it looks an awful lot like, hey, Edward, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Dave Salee, what's up, man? Middle Kansas. It's Middle America. But here's my problem with the whole situation, and let me do this. Everything after what I'm getting ready to say doesn't matter. What happened, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a version of I'm not going to give you a version. I'm giving you my observation of exactly what I saw happening. Now, a lady was engaging with an ICE officer. The ICE officer went over and told the lady to get back. And you could see he's telling her, and she didn't. And so he shoved her. Well, I understand that we all want to be chivalrous in our days and this and that. But Mr. ICU decided to go up and confront the officer. Now, remember last week when I told you guys several times, and I referred to, I don't know if going up to a police officer, whether I'm right or wrong, give him the old push off. If I just don't see that as ending well for me. Or giving a shoulder bump to a police officer. Now, I've had police officers shoulder bump me, When I was going through all my trial and stuff, guys, when I was going through all those things, yes, Wichita Police Department, yeah, I had them shoulder me. Yeah, I know exactly where it was at. I know exactly what I was doing. I was going to where my regular coffee place is, where I'd go to have coffee. And they just seemed to find their way there about the same time I was having coffee. They were showing up over and over again. But then I had the U.S. Marshals talk to the chief and see if he could get them to stop going to Jimmy's Diner and screwing with me. That's an actual thing that really happened. Now, I never shouldered them. I never retaliated. I didn't say a word. I just kept walking. Because see, if you retaliate, you say something, it's over, bro. It's over. Now, will I say that the policeman did the right thing in this situation? That's not at the point where this individual went over to the cops and got involved in a situation that was with a citizen and the cop. And the moment he engaged, nothing else matters. Hey, Maggie O'Leary, good to see you. She says, hi, Jim. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Courtney Allen, good to see you as well. Kevin Stevens, thank you for being here. Let's see. Dave Salee, I already said hi to you guys, you and Eddie. And Edward, by the way, everybody, give Ed a well wish. He took a little bit of a spill going out his front door, and he got his eye kind of blackened a little bit on the side right here. So we're going to use some Lugol's iodine. We're going to do some cold compress, and we're going to make sure to get him plenty of salt in his system so his body can heal itself. But Ed, thank you for being a moderator, but also heal up yourself. And if you think that I wasn't going to tell anybody that you need words of encouragement, well, you don't know Jim Price. Because if I know you're hurting, I know something's wrong, I'm going to say something, and I'm going to bring it to people's attention so they can say hi to you. Anyway, if you guys get a chance, say hi to Ed. Now, going back to this situation in Minnesota. Now, there's a punchline to this whole thing, and I don't want to get ahead of myself on the punchline of things. But this whole thing is just getting out of control. So his name was Alex Preddy, and so that's the whole thing. Real quick, the private jet that crashed in Bangor, Maine, was registered to an anti-ICE lawyer that spent millions of dollars electing Democrats in Texas. I don't know if the gentleman was on the plane or not. It's none of my business. That's not a thing, whatever, but just letting you know that Bangor, Maine, that person was a person who was actually making everybody's life a lot harder here in America by going against immigration. Oh, I know what I want to do. And so we're going to go... Linda Millikamp, good to see you. Hi, Jim, Edward. Hope everything's going well. And Edward, sorry to hear that. Hey, look at you, Eddie. Look at them being nice to you. Good. Everybody likes Ed. All right. Now let's go over here to. I want to do this real quick. I want to read. So the moment that Mr. Purdy or Preddy decided he was going to engage, and let me see if I can show you right here. Let me show you the actual photo. When the moment that this photo... Is there not any photos in this one? Where's it at? The moment that this photo right here exists, none of this matters anymore. Wow, the picture's on the... Okay, that's not what I... But anyway, so this, right here. Let me show you this real quick. Edward says, please comment. Absolutely, guys. Make sure you comment. Oh, well, sorry for your, for his family, but all funds must stop to furnish and the paid actor stuff is way out of control. You're absolutely right. Kindly share, says Edward. Good job out there, Eddie's, giving it the business. So let me show you real quick here what I was talking about. At the moment that this happened, well, that's not what I wanted. At the moment that this happened right here, see this right here? See where Purdy is in the face of the cop? He's got his cell phone in his right hand, But at the moment that you engage with the ICE member and then you have a concealed carry permit, which is great, honestly, fantastic. But the moment that you do this, where you get up in that guy's face for him pushing that lady out of the way, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong. I am sorry that there was a life loss. Absolutely, 1,000 times over. I will say that over and over and over and over again. But you don't take a gun to a protest, because when you take a gun to a protest, yeah. Mm-hmm. Magular says, Millicamp, it makes sense to memes. Yeah. Now, so all this is being said. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to split hairs. I do feel bad for the guy's family. The family has now put out statements that he was a loving, caring son and that he was all this, that, and the other thing. But I will tell you that mom and dad were not expecting any grandkids. If you know what I mean. All right, real quick, I asked Gronk, and I did this because I use Gronk now as a way of, it's an advanced search engine. All AI is advanced search engine. There's very little tasks that can be done. You have to manually want it to do certain things, and a lot of times you got to do the work yourself. But I asked a simple question: when do the current immigration laws that are being enforced in America, when did those come into law, and when were they written, and who wrote them, and what president signed them into law? So I wanted to know when it happened, who wrote the bill, and then which president signed it. So let's go back. So this is really crazy. I didn't know that we did not really have immigration until 1952. The ones that we're under today are 1952. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952, the McCarran-Walter Act. It was passed over a presidential veto. Senator Pat McCarran, that's actually McCarran Airport in Vegas, if I remember right. A Democrat out of Nevada. Oh, there you go, Pat McCarran Airport. And then Representative Francis Walter, a Democrat out of Pennsylvania. Truman vetoed the bill, but Congress overrode it, and which is very possible. Then, so that was 52, and so now, 13 years later, 1965, the Immigration and Nationality Act, Hart-Celler Act, enacted in October of 65, was then signed by Lyndon B. Johnson. The Refugee Act, 1980, primary authors were Senator Edward Kennedy and Representative Peter Redondo. By the way, listen, who has been the party that has been writing immigration law? Democrat. See what I'm saying here? The Immigration Reform Act of 1986, the IRCA, the Simpson-Mazzoli Act. Okay, now that was brought in 86. Primary authors: Alan Simpson, Republican from Wyoming. Oh, now we have a Republican. Oh, wait, Representative Romano Mazzoli, Democrat, Kentucky. Almost had a Republicans in there the whole way. Signed into law by Reagan. Immigration Act of 1990. Edward Kennedy, Democrat from Massachusetts. Signed into law by George H. Bush. George H.W. Bush. Jesus. Okay, so Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996, the IIRIRA. I'm serious, this is the acronym. IIRIARA. IIRIRA. Shit. Couldn't even do that right. Now, this was actually brought to you by two Republicans, Representative Lamar Smith and Senator Alan Simpson. Provisions: expanded deportation grounds and expedited removal, increased border patrols and barriers, restricted welfare access to immigrants. Oh, well, here we go back. Homeland Security Act, 2002. Remember this stupid crap that we all went through after 9/11? Good stuff. Primary authors are Joe Lieberman. Yeah, he was a real kind of cool guy. I keep losing the chat on Facebook. Can't reply to last comment. Oh, sorry, dear. Before this mess, Mexicans would get temporary green cards during picking fruit seasons. Yeah. And then they would go home. Yeah, no problem. I know. And then, well, because we started handing out welfare is what happened. Started giving them freebies. Why go home when you got freebies here? Why pick fruit when you get it? You get the fruit for free. Now, the Homeland Security Act of 2002 created the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, reorganized immigration enforcement under agencies like ICE, CBP, and USCIS. And that was Joe Lieberman and Dick Armey of Texas. And that was signed by George W. Bush, the George Bush Jr. The Real ID Act of 2005, enacted in May 11th of 2005, set federal standards for state-issued IDs effectively affecting immigration and validation or verification. Dave Glovin, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. So then the last one was Secure Fence Act of 2006. This law, particularly with the INA as amended, continued to be the core of enforcement today. Now, that one was written, but primarily authors and sponsors was Peter King, a Republican from New York, and was signed into law by George W. Bush. We have not had any updated at all. Listen, guys, we have not had any updated at all action on immigration in 20 years. The laws that are being enforced today, when everybody's bitching about what we're doing, the last time was in 2006. We are in 26 now. So that's 20 years. I'm pretty good in the math there, right? But this is what we're talking about, where we don't even want to have the conversation about where these laws came from and why they're here and who's enforcing it, why are we doing it. Now, again, like I said, I'm not trying to, I'm don't have a dog in the fight on the whole, idea of a lot of this stuff, but I do want to make sure that we are keeping this as factual as possible. The sad part of it is that I do see that there are a lot of people out there that are wanting to do things only because it works for them. This whole immigration of things, there's just a lot of this bad stuff, and I don't like how it's turning out. So, all right. So going back, the New York Times spun a false narrative on actions of Alex Preddy leading up to his shooting death by Customs and Border Patrol officers. By the way, the guy who shot him, it was a 7-year veteran, and was also the teacher of disarming somebody who's armed and gun safety. Like, this guy was actually an instructor for this. So, and again, it's neither here nor there. 48 seconds before the shooting, videos show a small group of citizens standing in the middle of the street where a person was detained on the ground. The civilians were speaking to federal agents. Mr. Preddy appears to be filming the scene, and he walks closer to the federal agent while holding his phone. Now, again, that's not how that all went down. We all saw what really happened there. But and here's the thing, all Preddy had to do was not resist. And again, mistake one, engage with, cop, doesn't matter what agency, FBI, CIA, local PD, whatever, it doesn't matter. Cop, person engages other person, this person gets involved, now makes himself engage with cop. Now I'm engaged with cop. Cop says, hey, okay, it's time to go with us. That's when you say, I have a concealed carry, and you put your hands as far away from your body as possible. And you don't move. You stop moving. You don't move. You stop moving. If you have a concealed carry on your body and you have gone through the licensing process and you've gone out and bought a Sig Sauer, which is a really expensive gun, when you go to a protest with a gun, you find out what happens, and this is what happens. The man should have never been there with his gun. He should have never spent so much money on a Sig Sauer, which are great guns. I love Sig Sauers, great guns. I enjoy them immensely, but they're just expensive. Like, the one thing is, like, yeah, they're nice, but I'm not using a 9mm or a 38 or whatever it is often enough that I really give a differentiate between a whatever gun, a Glock or a Sig Sauer or a Smith & Wesson or whatever it is. See, my point of this is that if I've gone through the training and then I've been told how to interact with the cops, because most of these are either done by ex-cops or on-duty cops, the concealed carry classes, or a gun enthusiast who's already a licensed weapons dealer. So these people have things to lose, so they're going to give you as best information as possible to make sure they don't lose their stuff. Do some research on the SIG P320. I've actually done some on that. And by the way, if I remember right, this gun that he had, Maggie did, and I forgot about this, Maggie. You are correct on this. He goes, he carried no ID for being a gun-carrying citizen. Yeah, I forgot about that. This guy did go in there into this thing and then did not have identification readily available, which tells me that he may or may not have had nefarious thoughts already. And I can't conjecture into that. It's not my deal. Peaceful protest is the only way to stay safe, not fighting the cops. Well, there you go. Right. When you're protesting, go there, be heard. But then we know that there's paid agitators. Now, by the way, the whole signal chat with the different languages, they had different languages, Spanish and some others. The person who's running the chats to organize people to go after ICE is actually Tim Wall's employee. Now, I'm going to let that sit for just a second. Tim Walls' employee is the one that's running the chat, coordinating how they can get together and make sure and create as much chaos, as much havoc as possible. So that's a thing, and that's going to come out. I really do think that that's going to come out, and it's going to not be very good for them. He must have been very pretty. Terrence William, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, guys, we got to always check in, say hi to each other. That way we keep the popcorn popping here at the Jim Price Show. Also, go over to Twitter and also to Rumble and like and share those feeds out if you can. Remember the Jim Price Show chat on Facebook and the Jim Price Show chat on Telegram. Make sure you guys are going over there and joining those two chats. A lot of great information over there. And be able to say that you are a part of a great conversation, because the people that I have in there are very good. And by the way, in the Telegram chat, I don't know if you guys actually know it, but I do have a historian who actually drops a lot of great information and a lot of good information over on Telegram. So anyway, if you get a chance to go over there and take a look at that and see how Telegram can kind of really give you a little bit of an insight on things. All right, let me a second here, guys. I got to take me a shot of salt because coffee's a little got my pH off a little here. So here we go. I don't know why I didn't just. It went everywhere. All right, there we go. I got my salt. You know what's anti-ice is salt. See what I did there? Oh. All right. So as this whole thing comes apart for the narrative, first interaction, 1, okay? Don't go up and chest bump the cop. Don't go up and push the cop. Don't engage the cop when he's engaged with somebody else. That's where they get real panicky, because they're concentrating on the person in front of them, and if you come out of nowhere, then they get real skittish, okay? That's just part of the deal. Don't do that. See? First thing, I'm not going to go to a protest with a gun. Second thing, if I'm taking my gun, I'm going to take my permit that says I'm allowed to have this gun concealed. Third thing, I'm not going to take 2 extra magazines if I'm just there to protect myself. By the way, he did have 2 extra magazines on him. That all had 12 rounds in it. So he had 36 rounds on him. 36 rounds. And then you don't go and engage a cop. So yeah, don't take the gun. But if you're going to take the gun, take your permit. If you're going to take your gun, or you're going to take your gun and your permit, don't take 2 extra magazines. And then don't engage with the cop. And when you do engage with the cop, here's what you start doing. Put your hands away from your body as far as you can. Now, did I see mistakes being made? Did I see cops going too far? Did I see things that I don't approve of? Yes. But all these things were occurring while the other party, the other gentleman, Mr. Pretty, if he would have just said, hands out, right? Hands up, don't shoot. Put my hands out. I have a weapon in my back pocket or my back belt. Okay, I got a concealed carry in the lower part of my back. Just say it. Just do this. Say it. And if they take you to the ground, or if you're already on the ground, just get your hands as far away from your body as possible. Do you see where there's decisions that could have been made here? First of all, don't take the gun. Okay, if you're going to take the gun, take your permit. Oh, wait, you're going to take your permit? Well, then don't take 2 extra magazines. Do you see where I'm going with this? Don't engage in a cop who's taking on somebody else. They're going to be skittish. And that's just part of this whole lesson of things. And I do feel bad for the family. I feel terrible for them. But again, listen, guys, I'm using references to this gentleman's personal life as a person who doesn't know this guy, doesn't have any way to verify his relationships or whatever, but the kid who was in a relationship that shot Charlie Kirk, right, that they told us that kid shot Charlie Kirk with a 30-06 from 300 yards and an downward angle and shot a perfect shot. Remember that weird relationship he was having? That whole different groypers, bottoms, tops, fuzzies. So the guy who went into the church and told Pam Bondi to come arrest him, he has the same photos of himself. And Mr. Alex Pretty has the same type of photos as the individual who got arrested for going into the church on Sunday morning. Do you see what I'm saying here? There seems to be a real mental break of things. But what I will want to point out to you guys for a second here is that there's a bot in YouTube that I cannot zap. Okay. All right, let me get over there. Well, what's it doing? All right, see if I can find this. Okay. All right, here we go. Hope the volume doesn't jump on. There we go. Where are we at here? There's a bot in YouTube. Where's he at? Which one are you talking about, Ed? Because the restream chats are coming through. Edward, what are you talking about on that, Maggie? Gotta get used to Jim Price on YouTube. Oh yeah. Cat, what are you doing? Sorry, the cat missed her launching point, and glad she didn't latch into my leg as she's falling down off of my. Jimmy's cats are here, so. What do you say, Maggie? It says more. Trannies are being brainwashed that Trump will take their rights and arrest them. They're already mental, and those accusations just fuel them. Well, actually, you're very, very correct on that, Maggie. Absolutely, that is very, very correct on that. So that's good observation on that. All right, Ed. I can't see the comment, Ed. So if you could show it to me, or we'll figure it out. Got to use. All right, so. So the the problem I'm having is that every time that we have my observation is I'm seeing things that when all of a sudden like something needs to be focused on, Minnesota, these different places across the country, we're seeing where like Utah. Now the thing is with Utah, that UVU, the university, the Utah Valley University, well, I guess there's a problem with some of the things that are going on over there. And so you got to be kind of, the Restream bot. Well, the Restream bot is actually, that's collecting the conversation over from Restream, and it's putting into the YouTube chat. I did not know that was a thing that it did. So sorry about that, Ed. So yeah, on YouTube, the Restream bot is actually my Restream collection of comments in there. So anyway, good stuff. UVU, for some reason, has got a problem, an identity problem. They have some things that they need to clear out, and we'll see if that actually does come out here in the coming days. But let me give you what's the crazy part of this is it's like, where's it at? And I'm going to get to the punchline here in just a second here. We do have a moment coming up here where I'm going to get to the biggest punchline of the whole thing that I wanted to tell you since we first got on air, but I have been saving it here to the very end. Something in the air in Utah, okay? University offers courses on black trans lesbian Marxists. Let me get this for you. That University of Utah, okay, the UVU, offers black trans lesbian Marxist classes. The latest in radical university thought, according to Campus Reform, this semester, the University of Utah English Department is offering a course on black trans lesbian Marxists who scare you. And you're probably pro-Palestinian too. This is a clear waste of time and money that advances an academic discourse in absolute and so this is again. This is the English department. I always thought English teachers were kind of serious and took their jobs serious. Why is this a thing? Like, why are we even like having this conversation? So anyway, it just kind of I'm kind of looking at it going, are we? Data Republican on X is digging out who is funding the protests. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's gonna this see this is again, one of the things that like the Border Patrol guy is like, hey, we're not having this problem in Texas and in Florida and different places like that, and even in Arizona where their Secretary of what's her name? Is she Secretary of State or is she Secretary? Is she the head? What is she? Ted Cruz stepped in dog shit the whole way and walked all the way through the house on mama's new carpet. Attorney General Chris Mays from Arizona is telling people to shoot ICE. I mean, no, she's not saying shoot ICE. She's just saying that you should have a weapon ready to be able to use to defend yourself. Didn't I just spend the first 30 minutes of this show going over why you don't do that? And this is the Attorney General of Arizona. God, what happened to Arizona? What happened to my Arizona? I grew up with it. It was, Goldwater Institute. I mean, we were the Goldwater standard, the idea that, the conservatism was a way of life, but what do I know, huh? What do I know? I know nothing. I know nothing. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Maggie says, I walked out of my English lit class because the professor was talking lib crap. That was in 1970. Oof. Yeah, they've been doing it for a while, haven't they? Oh, gotta love them. Gotta love it. So anyway, it's getting, things are getting out of control on this whole thing. Arizona's attorney general is telling people Jeez, stop already. Also, Jake Tapper sits back and allows a guest to claim ICE agents are on the verge. Now listen to this. This is what the left is telling everybody now. They're on the verge of putting people in ovens. Didn't we already say that there was not enough quote-unquote ovens or gas chambers to even get close to 1 million executions in Germany? And didn't we already have this conversation that they didn't actually, the door handles were on the inside and it locked from the inside? There was no outside handle. And didn't we actually, come on, we've already debunked that whole thing. And then this guy is going to go on there and go, oh yeah, they're going to put us in ovens. You know what? We're not going to, hey, let me do something for everybody. Can we do a full stop here for a second? Let's just stop. I don't care about you enough to kill you, burn you, smack you, teach you a lesson. Just stay the F out of the way. The F out of the way. Stay out of the way of conservatives and men who want to actually make the country better. I don't want to waste a bullet on you, sir. I don't want to waste gas on you, sir. I don't want to have to build an oven to burn you, sir. You see where I'm at with that? Like, you're not worth the time. Now, I will pop you in the mouth if you decide you want to get close enough to me and do something dumb, but I'm not going to go out and build a gas chamber to burn your dumb ass up. Just saying. This is where I think we ought to go back to Fight Club. And by the way, let me go back real quick. I know I may have, on Friday, I wanted to make sure I said this accurately, and it was something that kind of kept sticking with me. When I told you guys, girls, I said, ladies, I can tell you what's wrong with you. I can tell you what's going to fix you. And there was some smart-ass comments and this and that. Oh, yeah, Jim's going to tell women how to fix themselves. The part of it is I want to make sure that I said this correctly, is that the reason I say that is because women know how to absolutely be the most cutting, just fierce, ugly, everything that a human can be. And they're very good at it. And the point of it was what I wanted to make sure I wanted to say is women, do the exact opposite of that. The next time you think talking about somebody's hair or their length of their dress or their this or that or, she's sleeping around, whatever. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. When women stop treating women like men, like they're trying to treat men, when women start being nicer to each other and then they're starting to be nicer to men, all of the temperature of a lot of these things I think that we're dealing with, I really think I'm very accurate on this. All the things that I've seen that we're dealing with, all these things that keep escalating, all this weird stuff, if we just cooled it down the way women treat women and the way women treat men and the way that they know that they can go to the hardest point and be the most mean and be the most whatever, what if they did the exact opposite? And I really do believe that the world would be a far better place. But I'm not trying to leave that at the feet of women, but I am saying there's an amazing opportunity there for women to actually do some stuff that may really turn this whole world around. And that's what I look forward to. That's what I think of when I think about what can we do to make the world a better place. So just that's where I'm at with that. So it wasn't about, hey, ladies, I can tell you how to live your life. That's not it. The point of it is that if we are nicer to each other, if we are more loving to each other, if we are better to each other, then the world is a better place. And instead of using the kryptonite that women know that they can use on each other and making it the exact opposite, not delusional. By the way, here's the other part I don't want. Women who compliment, oh, you're a boss-ass bitch. Oh, queen. Oh, what? Girl, get you. No, that's not positive. That's not actually doing anything that's beneficial. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about don't use the hurty part. Don't do the things that you know you can cut a woman down to nothing. Don't do that. And don't do it to men either. But also be authentic and be real. Be honest. But not in an honest way where you're doing something to hurt them, but you're helping them in a way that makes the world a better place. That's how that works. So, all right. Carrie is a whistleblower, TV anchor and actress, Central Casting. I've always had more male friends than women. Sorry, but I have been that way since grad school. Yeah, or grade school. Women can be vicious and scary, Maggie says. Absolutely, Maggie. Maggie, that's exactly my point right there. Right there. Guys, if we all learn to lower the temperature, Tampon Timmy might know how to be a man. The guy who's friends with mass murderers or mass killers. See, we have all these opportunities to do these things, and I wonder why it is that we don't do, why we don't take advantage of them. We want to be treated nicely. We want things to be better. We want these, but then why don't we just do that already? Why don't we treat people the way we want to be treated and then see what we get in return? Now, life, I will tell you, life is the one thing that I have put effort into projects. I have put effort into financing projects. I have bid projects. I have built projects. I have been a part of, concepts of projects. I've been great cradle to grave with projects. Dave Solis says, I completely concur. And I was going to tell you something about the stuff, all the projects I've done, and I was going to tell you about, and I totally lost where I was at on that whole thing because I went on, kind of just got going on that whole, I've done a lot of projects thing. Well, you guys get to refresh my memory where I was at just a second ago because I lost it. I lost where I was at. Be right back. Got to refresh. Okay, Maggie. We'll see you in a minute. What was I just talking about? That's crazy. Gotta love that. I wish I would. I can't believe I forgot what that was. Anyway. Well, I do want to say that I wish that we could do better, and a lot of this stuff with how we put together things and the things we do, we can do better. We can do better for each other. Toning down the females, yeah. See, men, we get in a fight, we get mad at each other, and we're like, dude, what's up? And we clear it out and we move on. But what women will wait for 10 years to get the vengeance back on somebody from grade school. And I think that's not good. The world is a great place to be in. The world is a great place we should be a part of, and we should feel like we could do whatever we want and be whatever we want. But the sad part of it is, I don't know, guys. We've got to do this whole thing differently. I do believe that there will be portions of the police officers' actions that will become considered to be wrong, which I don't have a problem with. But we're going to find out, or we're going to conclude that we're going to see that Mr. Preddy has the same thing. He has things that he did wrong. What can we do to make this world a better place, guys? I've watched so much of this go down, and I worry about where we're going. $444 on the clock. Thank you so much for that. Early stages of dementia. 88-year-old Democrat Eleanor Holmes Norton signals she won't seek re-election as D.C. delegate. 88 years old. Jeez, guys, come on. By the way, this also came out this weekend that there was an ICE agent that his finger was bit completely off by a protester or a person they were arresting. I'm not sure on the details on that for sure. Another one was attacked while trying to protect a hotel that the ICE agents weren't in, but they were attacking the hotel because they said the ICE was in there. Now, let me get to the actual... let me get to the actual punchline of this whole thing. Let me get to the article real quick. I'll just ad lib it here. We know what we're doing. Oh, let's go with this first. Tampon Tim says ICE agents are the same as Anne Frank. And that they're going to be writing songs, or not songs, but writing stories about Minnesota being the Anne Frank of our time. That Minnesota is going to be the Anne Frank of our time. Now, I'm going to go back to, you notice that when we have these big things that we keep finding about fraud and other things like that, every time these Democrats, every time these people get out there and they start poking their finger at Trump, they find themselves in trouble, just like Timmy, just like Gavin Newsom, just like other ones that we are seeing across the country. But I will tell you that Hokum and others have actually quietly called Trump and said that they will cooperate with ICE agents. Now, I did go through a rundown of when the last time our immigration laws were affected, and that was 20 years ago. Now, the Democrats have been in charge in the House, the Senate, and the presidency several times in that time, and yet they didn't change the immigration laws. They didn't do anything different. They didn't enforce them for 4 years, but now here we are. But this is what they do. They create the chaos, and then when we try to clean it up, we're the bad guy for trying to clean up their shit. Well, look at all that shit all over you. You're the one cleaning it up, or you're the problem. Holy crap, guys. Well, anyway, this afternoon, Tim Walz called Trump. Listen to what I just said there. Tim Walz called Trump. Trump did not call Timmy. Trump did not make a scheduled meeting in that. Didn't get the senators and the House representatives together. Amy Klobuchar didn't get to go out there and do her little thing. Timmy. Remember that in South Park, the little the kid in the wheelchair? Timmy. Well, Timmy calls Trump. Not going to tell you about it, right? But here's what Tim did yesterday. He launched the National Guard, the Minnesota National Guard, and you know what they did? They took donuts, snacks, and hot coffee to the protesters. So Tampon Timmy spent the state's money engaging the National Guard into the city and then had them hand out snacks. This is where things get a little bit weird, but this is where Trump said that it seems like we have more in common. Trump says Tim Walz called him today ahead of Tom Holmes' visit to Minneapolis. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on similar wavelengths. Dave Glevin, good to see you. There is language I would use about Senator Klobuchar, but won't. Yeah. It's not worth the sin, is it? She's kind of ugly, too. I don't know. I never really liked her. Let's see. Minnesota and NG are probably cis soy boys. Send National Guard a bunch of cis soy boys. Well, there you go. I mean, that's what they want to hire, right? Guys, when we find out about who was actually paying for the protesters, it's going to be you. Let me get ahead of the story here for a second. You're paying for protests against your own country. You are paying for protests against your own country. The money that is being spent and where it's coming from is the NGOs. It's from the different liaison, the this is and that's, the grants, the Leering centers, the whole thing. Guys, we're closer to the end of things than we are the beginning of things. And I know that doesn't seem like that. I know there's a lot of times you're just, oh, come on, Jimmy. You know, yeah, there's so much out there. I can't believe it. What are you talking about? Oh, we're not even close at all. Guys, I do believe we're closer to a better world and a better outcome in life than we are the beginning of it. But you got to believe that as well. You know, you guys may want, well, I don't always believe Jim, you know, giving me all that business, right? But how about you just start believing in it? What if you just believed and quit doubting? Believe that we're winning. Believe that we have that. Just like the idea they told you for a week. They had us at 12 to 18 inches of snow in Wichita, Kansas. 12 to 18 inches. Now, that's a lot for Wichita. Hey, the snow is beautiful. It's amazing. If there'd have been 18 inches of snow out there, I still said the same thing. We got 6 to 8 here. A lot of areas got about half or a third of what they were actually looking forward to. But the problem with it is, guys, what if I keep telling you there's a storm coming, 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 there's a storm coming. It's going to be so bad. Catastrophic, life-ending, power outages, ice, snow, the worst of everything. Oh, it's going to be hell again. No, man, the world's in the polar vortex is coming to get us all. But that's all you're hearing on ABC and NBC and CBS and Fox and on CNN and the Weather Channel and all the other crap. And all you're hearing over and over again. So what are you going to program into your weekend? Snow. What can you alter? What can you change? Remember that whole, this is the sheet of your life. This is how, all this is the quadrants of your entire life. And where you go in it and how you experience it and wherever, that's up to you, and however long you stay on here, that's up to you. You can affect the world around you. You can make the world around you a better place. You can make the world better or worse. You can make things positive or negative. You can ask for something. You can manifest it. You can ask for something to be real and it becomes real. Well, if you keep saying it's going to be horrible, it's going to be bad, it's going to be the worst, what will the snowstorm be? The worst. Whether it's 3 inches and you call that the worst, or it's 33 inches and you call that the worst. Guys, I think that they have found a way to manipulate the weakest among us, the lower level thinkers, and that's what we're fighting up against. But a lot of things that we're up against, we got to remember that these are just people who are looking for something to hold on to. They want to belong. They want to be a part of something. They want to feel that cohesion of people. They want to be around good people. See, they want to do that, but then they don't have good people. They just have the shitty people who are crazy like them, and then they get together and they make shitty shit. Shitty shit, yeah. There you go. All right, guys, today is a big day for the idea that all this has come down to the 2 big speeches that Tim Walz gave this weekend mean nothing because Monday morning he called Dad. Hey, Dad, things aren't good, man. Can you come help us out? It's kind of crappy around here. I'm not doing real good. There you go. Why didn't Minneapolis get hit with the storm? Well, they got the cold. Hey, Rebecca, good to see you. Well, guys, it's been good seeing you guys. Great comments out there. Great interaction. You guys are so good at it. I really do appreciate everything you guys do and all the good stuff that you guys are talking about out there. And this is what makes this show work so well, is your interaction as well. So, yeah, there's some things out there that didn't make a lot of sense. We saw a lot of spraying last week. And by the way, guys, I'm going to go on record. I'm going to continue to say this over and over again. I think that they reformulated the jet fuel. So that it is actually the pre-seeder to the seed clouding or cloud seeding that they do. So the pre-seeder is the constant commercial traffic that crisscrosses our America all the time. Then they come in with their seeding, and then that's where we start seeing the trails. So as the seeding happens, and then the jet planes are flying through that, that's where you're seeing that condensing, right? The jet fuel collapses whatever it is that they sprayed in the air and makes bigger crystals so they fall out of the sky. I'm going to go with a reformulated jet fuel about 15 to 20 years ago, and it has been the Trojan horse that has got us to climate change that we have today. And that's what they were doing the whole time. Great show, Jim. Be well. And you too, Ed. Thank you for that, Maggie. Appreciate it. And, guys, this is the world we live in. Be better for each other. Be the world that we need to be. We could do so many things differently. All right, guys, remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, less they have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish like Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton. The world will be a far, far better place, right? Remember, hold the line, hold fast, do not give up, do not give in, we'll win. I promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer out there. Remember, the Constitution, it limits the government, but never limits you. You've always been the power. You are in command. They are your public servants. Know your power, know who you are, and it will always get better for you out there. Out of abundance of your heart, you will keep believing it. Good or bad, I choose good. Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. There you go, Bryn. Good job over there on Rumble. All right, guys, that's going to be about it for me. We've got a big week ahead of us. I am feeling a little bit better today. Today was my first day of, I call normal. The pain here in the back and on the side is immense still. The cramping down here underneath the rib in the front is still there. Cramps up quite a bit, but I am functioning better today. Not saying I'm healed, but I am functioning. I do have to take breaks, and I do have to stop more often, and I know that. So one of those things. And by the way, getting down to losing the weight like I did, I'm kind of cold. Ooh. So yeah, that's a whole thing. All right. Well, it's good seeing everybody. I appreciate it. Janet, fine. Oh, late. Stay safe. Later, stay safe. All right, Janet, I thank you so much for being here. But, guys, thank you for being a part of the show. And remember, when we give it a little bit of time, yeah, you don't get caught up in the hysteria of things and get too far out. But we'll find out about old Alex Preddy and all the other cross-dressing weirdos out there. We'll more of that will come out in time. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys will be good to each other out there.